Welcome to today's webinar, the latest installment in Antil's Undie Empire webinar series sponsored by Citrix GoToMeeting. Today, the focus of our webinar will be on Facebook, how to use the world's largest social network as a business tool without looking like a tool, we hope. My name is James Tuckerman and I will be your presenter and teacher and facilitator today. Now, before we get started, while the latecomers continue to shuffle into the back rows, I'd like to show you how you can interact with us today. At the side of your screen, you will see a questions box. We'll be having a Q&A at the end, but we'll also be inviting participation and interaction throughout today's webinar. So let's test this out. Why don't we start with some of your favorite commercial Facebook fan pages? Your favorite commercial Facebook fan pages. So what do I mean by that? If there's a Facebook fan page that you're a fan of, that you have liked, that was created by a business or a brand, just tap out that name. Perhaps it's a personal fan page or a human brand. That counts too. Oh, they're coming in fast. Charmen's, SEO Moz. Oh, Antil, thank you. Red Balloon. Oh, gee, they're really fast. Aussie Inc. by Todd Miller. Monday Motivatable Minute. Deals United by Dale Hanson. George Takei. Phil Gutteridge. I love George Takei. Entice Me. Jay Donaldson has suggested that. Victoria's Secret. Should I say who suggested Victoria's Secret? Well, it's a Chris. I'm not going to say your last name, Chris, just in case. Katut Double AMI. Craig Eastwood. Peppermint Magazine. Wow, there are all sorts of different things going on here. Chris has said thanks. Sarcasm. Norton Street Italian Fiesta. Marjorie Anson. R.M. Williams Outback. Wow, that's interesting. Kelly Broderick is fanning a Facebook fan page that's about shoes. There you go. And of course, Jump On It by Lena Mathai. A whole bunch of them just coming in fast. JB Hi-Fi by Robin. Kindness Trust by Philip Bateman. Many. I'm wondering whether anyone here has their own Facebook fan page. So this is your chance to tap in your own business Facebook fan page. And if I can get it, if I can say them, I will. I'll say them and I'll yell them all out. And let's see how we go in terms of being able to give you a plug. Wow, that's fast. MCS Mobility, Hygiene Feeds, Deals Mix, Flood Sacks, Bendigo Toyota, Evolve Network Australia, Angieing again, Oh to Be Stylish, tees.com.au, wow, they're coming in thick and fast. I might have to take a screen grab and put them somewhere else. Wow. If you'd like to engage with us also on Twitter today, the hashtag is #UndieEmpire, #UndieEmpire. Now, a bit of a confession, I'm flying solo today, so I won't be able to engage with you on Twitter while I'm also doing this. I also might have a little bit of trouble getting to everyone's questions in a timely way. I'll do my best, but we'll save it to the end. This also means that if there's something that seems weird or strange or something goes unusual with the audio or the vision, you let me know, okay? You let me know, just tap something in, because I'm counting on you to keep me posted if there's anything unusual with regards to the technology today. All right, so what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about Facebook for Business, and this is the sort of stuff that we're going to be covering today. I call it my Facebook loop because it's the strategy that we use at Antil and we've helped other organizations use to master their Facebook account. To break it down simply, or more specifically, how to master Facebook for Business. More specifically, I'm going to cover 3 tips to help create a self-building, largely self-managing, monetizable Facebook prospect base. Now, there's a couple key words there that I want you to pay attention to. These are words like monetizable and prospect. Because the funny thing about Facebook, as you may have heard, and I think we talked about it in the promo materials, Facebook is often described as the largest pub. What's it? The largest pub of the world on the internet. It's the social media pub. Whereas LinkedIn's all about business. Twitter is usually about headlines and the dissemination of news and updates. Facebook is very social, the pub of the internet. So a lot of people underestimate it and look beyond its value as a business tool. However, when you look at the statistics of how Facebook's being used and who's using it, you'll discover interesting statistics such as, in the context of Australia, where we are right now, if you're listening in from overseas, Australia has a population of about 22 million. In Australia, there are around 11 million Facebook users. So that's close to, the population is a little bit over 22 million, so it's close to half the population. But when you look a little bit deeper, you actually find that the active population, that's people who are not very old, very, very young, the criminally insane, what have you, the active population is around 16 million. So we're talking about 11 million of 16 million. That's a significant number. So to say that your customers are not using Facebook, I actually think is slightly short-sighted. It's almost like saying they don't watch television or they don't listen to the radio. And given declining radio and TV statistics, I don't think that's an unfair claim. How am I in terms of audio? Someone's just suggested that they lost audio. Can anyone tell me if that's limited to one person? Audio is good, audio is fine, audio is great. Okay, sometimes it happens, it's the individual line. Wow, that's a lot of people keeping me posted. Thank you, all of you. So moving on. The three topics I'm going to cover today are quick cheats to manage a Facebook fan page, easy cheats to build a Facebook fan page, and what I think is the smart way to monetize a Facebook fan page. All right? Manage, build, monetize. But before I kick off, I think it's always important that I answer that question, what gives me the authority to talk about Facebook as a business tool? How can you trust this dude in the wacky hat and the mascot, Ants Head mascot, James Tuckerman? Well, often you often hear people talk about these things, and particularly conferences and like. I always like to know that they've done it themselves. They've always done it themselves. So this is where we came from. We used Facebook for a long time. We just had a Facebook fan page. It just sat there. We probably pointed to it from our home page and did the basics. Oh, thank you, Christine Kane, saying that I look trustworthy in that photo. I think I look dodgy as. But anyway. So for a long time we used it, and it crept up slowly and surely as it should. We're a media organisation, and by August 26, 2011, we had 1,800 monthly active users. Now this is not fans, this is active users, because you know what? Someone can fan you or like you and then just basically block you from their feed anyway. So they're a fan, but they're not engaging with you. So active users is actually a better judge of whether you're using it well. So here we were on August 26, 2011, and we had 1,800 monthly active users. Jump ahead approximately 90 days, and we'd gone from late August, the last days of August, to the first day of December, so it's about 93 days, to 4,500 monthly active users. What I'm going to be talking through today are the way that we used Facebook to get to that point, the tools that we use to get to that point, and also how we manage it so it doesn't take over our lives, and also suggest some ways that you can turn it into a business tool. A couple of people have asked, is there notes or a video available on this webinar after? The answer is yes, Wayne. I will be providing the slides. And hopefully a video recording of what you're seeing right now, and hopefully some links to some of the tools I'm going to be using. Yes, Will Todd, hurrah! Megan Edwards, I hope that is awesome. Awesome means likely to inspire awe. So might be an overkill, but anyway, there you go. So that's where we went. So I'm going to start off with this word manage. How do we manage? Now the problem is when you use something like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever, it can fairly quickly take over your life. Now when you start using these tools, yes, there is a fairly intensive learning curve and it will take up your time. But if you do it well and you manage it well, sooner or later you get to a point where it can largely look after itself. And that's the way that I now use Facebook. I use it in a way where it's largely self-managing, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, when I talk about managing, I'm generally talking about populating your Facebook fan page, adding status updates, because it's the status updates, the content that you add to your Facebook fan page, that keep people engaged with you. Also, if you're doing it well, they like what you say, and when they like what you say, that appears on their own page, which other people can see. Or if they really, really like it, they might share it, and then they're sharing it with all their friends, and that's how you get the viral amplification effect of Anthill. Right. So the three tools I use, the first one, I'm going to start with the obvious. Now, okay, has anyone heard of Pinterest? Of course you've heard of Pinterest. It's about the fastest growing social media network the world's seen over the last 6 to 12 months. Essentially, it's a social media network where people just simply pin images that they like. They pin images that they like. And the funny thing that happens is that some people follow people who like images that they like. But what it's ended up building is this astonishingly good resource that you can turn to when trying to find images. Now, why is this important? Well, the thing is about Facebook is that it's a very it's a very visual environment. Status updates are short, they're sweet, and you can hopefully sweet, and you can add images. And images seem to be a powerful technique to engage with fans very quickly and also get that viral amplification effect that I'm talking about. So, for example, here's just something that we threw up in January onto our Facebook fan page before the timeline change. Now, I thought that this was interesting because, you know, Anthill is about innovation, entrepreneurship, business in Australia, and we threw up an image that I'm pretty confident we found on Pinterest. And it's a little flowchart, and it says, "Are you happy?" And if you say yes, it says, "Keep doing what you're doing." If you say no, it says, "Do you want to be happy?" And if the answer is no, you keep doing what you're doing. And if the answer is, "Do you want to be happy?" and the answer is yes, it says, "Change something." So it's a little flowchart, very interesting. In the you know, just short, sweet, happy. Not about business, but in the new year, there's a lot of business people that are thinking about how they want to do things differently. This particular one pretty quickly got 44 people liking it, if you can see that, 44 people liking it, and 20 shares. Now, 44 people liking it, that's great. So anyone looks at their profile can see that they like it. But the 20 shares is more significant because if the average Facebook user has, I don't know, 140 friends, I think it's more than that now, but for a long time it was about 140. What's 20 times 140? Does anyone want to tap that in? Do my maths for me? My maths is terrible. 20 times 140, 2,800. Thank you, Michael Morgano. Or Megan Barrow cuts it down to a lot. That's right. So 20 people shared this and ended up sharing it with 2,800 people. That's what I call viral. Now, around this time, I was at a lunch. Listening to the global CEO of NetSuite, Zach Nielsen, talk about cloud computing, and he made an observation: every business is now a cloud business. I thought it was interesting, so I wrote, "Hit like if you agree." Right? That's what I wrote. There's a little comment. You can see it at the bottom of there. 2 other people liked it. 2 other people like it. So my little mascot there, Antagonist, wrote, "Methinks the question was too cerebral for Facebook." And then to really hammer the point home to the people I was showing this to at the time, I threw up a picture of a hedgehog, and it says, "Hedgehogs, why don't they just share the hedge?" No. 13 people like that, and that was 1 share in a very short period of time. Now, that's not a business message. I was just doing that to demonstrate my point. To further demonstrate my point, I'm going to try something risky here. I'm going to bounce out of my presentation straight onto our Facebook wall. Fingers crossed. Let's see if this works. Is it going to work for me? The shortcut's not going to work, so I'm going to have to jump online and do this manually. You're going to have to watch me jump into Facebook for a moment. Folks, that's okay. Isn't this exciting? This is what happens when you do things live. Okay, here's our Facebook fan page. Here's just something that I want you to check out. On Monday, we threw up a picture, Monday Inspiration, Bring on the Crazy. And it was a little image that was plucked from Pinterest. I'm going to succeed because I'm crazy enough to say, I'm going to succeed because I'm crazy enough to think I can. Cool sentiment. I love it. Our readers loved it. So what was the outcome? 72 people liked this. You can see who some of them are. But 72 people also shared it. Okay, what's 72 times 140? I don't know. Once again, yes, Megan Barrow, it is a lot. It is a lot. Okay, so moving back to the presentation and moving on. Now, someone has said, what are the rules around sharing things? Oh, there you go, Chris Maris. It's over 10,000. Someone's asked, what are the rules about sharing Pinterest? At the moment, there are no rules. But what we try and do, if the well, there's no rules as far as I'm aware. Someone can correct me wrong, but however, there are always issues about copyright. Now, Pinterest is also in a grey area, and they're struggling how to manage this stuff as well too. But what we try and do is we try and give attribution wherever we can. Sometimes there's no clear path to attribution, so it's very hard to do that. But what we try and do is we try and give attribution. So the first tool I'd recommend is Pinterest, Whammo. The second tool I want to demonstrate. The second tool I want to talk about is called Post Planner app. Now, what Post Planner app allows you to do is it allows you to schedule your status updates. Now, why might you want to schedule your status updates? Because the more you use Facebook, the more you will discover that there are certain times where the traffic is hot. Traffic is hot. And they are times like 8:45 in the morning. When people get to work, they log on, they check on their Facebook account. 12 to 12:30, people are having a quick peek before they go to lunch. 4:15 to 5:15 when they finish work. They are hot times. There's another hot time as well too, which is about 5:30 to 6:30 on Sunday afternoons. So if you are planning on using Facebook and you want to upload images and whatever, or information that's of interest to your target audience, gee, it's a hassle to jump on at 8:45 in the morning, 12, 5:15, say it's a Sunday afternoon. You don't want to quit hanging with the kids, rush inside and put something on the internet. No, you don't. So I use Post Planner app, which allows me to schedule my updates. So instead of jumping on every 6 hours, every 4 hours, what I can do is I can spend half an hour on a Monday morning or whenever suits me, and I schedule my status updates I can schedule my updates straight to Facebook. Someone's pointed out that you can now do that straight from Facebook now. I really hope so. I'll have to check that out, Michael Morgano, and get back to you. That sounds very exciting and interesting. But at the moment, I use Post Planner app. I'm also so lazy I outsource it to somebody. And that's how it looks, when it appears on the page. Now, interestingly, and I will point this out in a moment, when you schedule something or automate it, you reduce page rank, but I'm going to explain why I don't think that's such a big deal. The third tool I use is one called the Networked Blogs app. Now, this is particularly helpful. Well, it's only helpful if you have a blog, or if you know of blogs that you know that your audience are going to die for. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to syndicate blogs from your blog to your Facebook fan page. If you don't have a blog, no big deal. Just block your ears for a second. Go no, this is not appropriate to you. Or if you know of someone else who has a blog, so for example, you know that your fans just love the Seth Godin blog, well, you can syndicate his blog to your Facebook fan page, and it ends up looking like this. So in our world, what we can do is we syndicate only blog posts that we categorize or tag as Anthill TV, because we know our fans on Facebook like the things that we put on Anthill TV, and it's business related, but it's a lot more fun. Okay? I mentioned before that it's always best for engagement and edge rank purposes to post manually. So two of those tools are actually automated tools. They allow you to schedule stuff. Now, EdgeRank is kind of like Facebook's version of PageRank, if you understand Google. The higher that your EdgeRank it gives you to any the higher the EdgeRank it gives to any status update that you add to your Facebook fan page, the more of your fans are going to see it. The more widely it's going to be disseminated. Now, I don't know how its algorithms work, but I know that it knocks off some EdgeRank points if you use an automated tool. But here's the thing. If you are scheduling and syndicating awesome content, awesome, likely to inspire, or compelling to your target market, they will like it and they will share it. And that is far more powerful than the EdgeRank, what EdgeRank can give you. So if you're focused on providing something that's compelling to your target audience, and they share it and they like it, you're going to get far more clout and amplification than you ever would just relying on EdgeRank. So EdgeRank's great if it can share it to more people, but it's far more powerful if you can add status updates that your fans are going to share. By the way, have you noticed yet that none of the things that I've pointed to are actually sales messages? Interesting, Matt. So that's populating your page. The next thing I wanted to cover was building your page. All right, so what am I talking about building? I'm not talking about manually constructing it or anything like that. Facebook makes it very easy to create a Facebook fan page. I'm talking about building your fan base. Building your fan base. So when it comes to building your fan base, there's a couple things that I strongly suggest. In fact, if I was to look back and think about all the different things that we did, this was probably the most significant in getting fans.